Guys, what's good? It's your boy Phil. Today we are talking about Record of Ragnarok and the latest few chapters. Obviously, we have round 6. We have one of the fighters in round 6. We know it's going to be the boy Buddha. We know he's fighting, and he's fighting for the side of the humans, which is kind of a curveball, man. Lots of possibilities that could end up with this matchup. I want to talk about who I think could possibly feature in round 6 alongside with the Buddha, because there's a lot of theories. There's a lot of theories going on who's going to end up fighting against this guy. Is it going to be a human traitor? Is it going to be another god? Is there going to be a surplus in human fighters now that one of the humans don't have to fight? A lot of possibilities going on. A lot of theories floating left and right. So we're going to talk about it. I got my own ideas. I know you guys have a few ideas. I'm going to read some of the comments. You're going to see what you guys are thinking, what's going down. Man, I'm so excited for this fight. I'm so excited, and I really hope the 2-chapter pattern we're getting here really holds true, because it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun getting 2 chapters a month, man. I don't know. That shit is cool. If it doesn't happen, that's cool with me, but dude, I'm enjoying Record of Ragnarok so far. Obviously, you got the anime coming up pretty soon. When that happens, the fandom is going to get flooded with new readers, and I cannot wait to see some of those fights animated. It's going to be sick. A lot of things going right for Record of Ragnarok, and you guys just got to wait and see what happens. But without further ado, round 6. Who could we see in round 6? Let's do this shit. When we're talking about round 6 and the Buddha and who he can possibly fight, on the god side, that is, there are 2 gods. There are 2 gods that come to mind for me, and the first one is Loki. The first one is Loki, and the second one is Bishamonten. Let's talk about Loki for a second. Obviously, Loki, he's a troll. He's a schemer, the trickster. You know about Loki, right? You know about him, and you know that he has beef with Buddha. We saw it a few chapters ago during round 5, or before round 5. They were about to square up outside of the stadium. He was talking shit. They were about to fight, and it almost happened. These guys were pretty close. They were like this close to fighting, so you know they have beef. Could they possibly take this beef and settle it on the stage of Ragnarok? Possibly. It's very possible. A lot of people are starting to lean with the Loki and Bishamonten side, and I definitely see that too. Same with Bishamonten. We saw that he also was in the whole Loki versus Buddha scene a few chapters ago, and you also had a bunch of the humans there too. It was a weird quarrel. I still don't really quite understand that quarrel, but nevertheless, we saw him there. He also has some type of beef with Buddha. A lot of gods got beef with Buddha. I don't know why. But him and the 7 lucky gods also got a lot of screen time. A lot of screen time last chapter, or 2 chapters ago, I guess. They got a lot of screen time. Basically had their own chapter. So could this be foreshadowing the matchup between Bishamonten and Buddha? Possibly. Very possible. We've seen that before with gods getting screen time and then going into the ringer. We've seen that before. That is possible. There's also a theory lurking around that maybe the 7 lucky gods are going to fight with Bishamonten. I don't know how plausible that theory is. To be honest, I don't really know the god. I don't really know the mythology and all the lore surrounding Bishamonten and the 7 lucky gods. So I don't know if that's true or not. But if that's the case, that would be definitely interesting. And I'd be interested in seeing that. Buddha with his little staff, the absolute beast he is. I know he's strong, and I could probably, depending on what the matchup is, I'm more than 100% sure Buddha is going to win. I think we all are. I think we all know Buddha is probably going to win the fight. But if I saw the 7 lucky gods versus Buddha, that'd be an interesting matchup. That would make me raise my eyebrow for sure. So that is something to keep in mind. I think another thing we have to keep in mind with the boy Buddha is this guy is a staff user. This guy's a staff user. We saw his staff. He was showing that shit off last chapter. And I think one of the common themes, it's not that common, but it's a common theme, is that these matchups have everybody using the same weapon. They're very common matchups, except for a few, except for, obviously, Hercules and Jack the Ripper. Yeah, that one was not that fair, but you had Adam versus Zeus. They're both fist fighters. They're both brawlers. You had Shiva versus Raiden. They're both wrestlers. They were both wrestling and shit. That was pretty hype. You had Lubu versus Thor. They both had a polearm or a hammer, a two-handed weapon type thing going on. So I think we ought to see a staff user versus Buddha, with the exception, obviously, if it's the 7 lucky gods versus Buddha. That would be hype. I would be very interested in seeing that. So for that reason, I do not think that Loki is going to fight Buddha. I don't think Loki's going to fight Buddha. No, even though they got beef, even though Loki is on the side of the gods, strongly on the side of the gods, he wants to kick the humans' ass. So we know that about Loki. We know he's going to fight later on. I'm pretty sure he's on the list, right? I think he is on the list. We know he's going to fight later on, but I don't see Loki as the staff user, the polearm user. I see this guy as the assassin, the trickster, the schemer, right? And while that would be a good ideological, whatever, that kind of matchup versus my boy Buddha versus the trickster, that would be a cool matchup. I don't see it happening. I don't know if I think Loki is going to fight Buddha. If it's for the god side, I do think Bishamonten and the 7 lucky gods are more likely to fight Buddha. It just makes sense. Like, timeline, like, everything, it makes more sense. Now, the thing is, I don't know what kind of weapon Bishamonten uses. I'm assuming he uses, like, a sword or some shit. I don't know if he uses a katana, or, a katana. He might be using, like, a polearm or some shit. I don't know. If he does use a polearm, then there you go. But if we're talking all the 7 lucky gods, then that's interesting, and that would be cool. I'd be down for that. But on the basis of the polearm staff thing I'm talking about, there's one more pick. There's one more pick that we have to consider, and this is the pick that I guess everybody is leaning towards. And if this is the pick, I'm interested. I'm very interested if this is the pick. Obviously now we have the surplus of humanity. We have an extra human that doesn't have to fight, or that there'll be an extra matchup, which if there is an extra matchup, that would be pretty cool. We have an extra human. What if one of the humans switched sides? Qin Shi Huang is the human that everyone thinks is going to jump ship and go to the god side. Qin Shi Huang is a Chinese emperor. He was a Chinese emperor. I think he built the Great Wall of China or some shit like that, which is crazy. He unified all of China, something like that. The Qin dynasty. I do not know anything about this guy. I will tell you that straight up. I don't know shit about this guy. I'm just going off everything I've seen in Discords and forums, Reddit, and in the comment section. But apparently this guy was very keen. Keen, get it? Keen? No, K-E-E-N this time. Keen. Very keen on achieving immortality. Immortality. Crazy shit right there. I mean, weren't we all? Weren't everybody back in the day trying to get immortal? Trying to get that shit? Well, this guy Keen was seeking immortality and really seeking to become a god. So why not jump ship, go to the god side, make a point, say, hey, if I fight for you, you have to make me a god and give me immortality. So that is, just from a lore storyline perspective, that is a pretty damn good thing. And I definitely think this is possible. I mean, who wants to deal with math, right? Who wants to deal with adding another god into the ring? Why would you want to do that? No, let's take a human, right? Very possible. I think this is definitely 100% possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if we see Qin Shi Huang jump ship and go to the god side, be persuaded by the boy Zeus and all the other gods, telling them, hey, we'll make you one of us if you win this fight, that'd be pretty sick, man. That would be pretty sick. Like I said, though, at the end of the day, whoever ends up fighting Buddha, I do not think is going to win. If it's Qin Shi Huang, if it's Bishamonten, I don't think it's going to be Loki. I think Loki is going to get through the next round. But if it's between Bishamonten and Qin Shi Huang, they have no chance. I think Buddha is definitely going to take the dub. Both plot armor and also this dude is strong. He's very strong, very powerful. Yeah, I think Buddha is going to take the dub for sure. I have no doubt in my mind. I'm pretty sure most of you guys think Buddha is going to win. All of us really think he's going to win. We don't have a doubt that he's going to lose. So For that, I definitely think Buddha is gonna take the dub. So those are my 3 picks. Those are my 3 picks that I think you need to keep an eye out for. Loki is, I'd say Loki is number 3. I don't even know if I think Loki's gonna fight. Yeah, they have beef. Maybe they fight later on in the tournament, but for this round, I don't think it's gonna be Loki. Bishamonten and the seven lucky gods. Again, there's another theory that people think that all 7 of them are gonna fight together. If this happens, I think that's sick, and I definitely would love to see Buddha versus the 7 lucky gods. I think that would be epic. Will that happen? I think that has a good chance of happening, for sure. To keep the flow, we get our first god versus god fight. That'd be cool. I'd be down for this fight for sure. And lastly, Qin Shi Huang, the Chinese emperor, seeking immortality, seeking to become one of the gods. It just makes sense from a lore perspective, from a storytelling perspective. I would love to see that. Like I said, I don't know much about Qin Shi Huang. I don't know if he uses a staff. I don't know if they're going to be staff versus staffing, some shit like that. But if that happens, that would be epic. I see a lot of people saying, like, another god will be thrown into the mix, like a Sun Wukong, some other god like that. That would be sick as well. Do I see that happening? Not really. I think we have enough roster here that we need to deal with first off. A lot of people on the list that people really want to see. And Buddha versus either Bishamonten, Loki, or Qin Shi Huang. I think that would be a sick enough matchup first off, for sure. Definitely, 100%. But guys, those are my 3 picks. Those are my 3 picks for who I think has the best possibility at fighting Buddha. Let me know. Let me know down below. Who do you think is fighting Buddha? Are you on the Qin Shi Huang gang? Qin Shi, that's his name, right? Qin Shi Huang. Qin Shi Huang, whatever. Are you on that side of the spectrum? You think it's going to be Bishamonten? I kind of do hope it's Bishamonten and the 7 lucky gods, just so we can get an extra fight. Because if we get an extra fight, that would be sick. That'd be absolutely insane. And then we do get a random god thrown into the mix. That would be sick. Or you think it's going to be Loki? You think they're going to squash the beef? Whatever's going on there? I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't know. But guys, that's all for this video. Let me know down below who you think it's going to be. But as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.